Okay, now we're going to learn how to dimension number three. And this one, we're going to, again, talk about, how you place the dimensions. Always have the small ones first, then work your way out. But I'm also going to show you how to do a angle dimension. I'm going to leave that note on there. Okay. So we'll go back to here and just double click, edit that sketch. And you can look at it and you see all those dimensions there. We've got to have all those dimensions on our drawing. Okay. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and start down here. So now I'd want to put these dimensions down in this location because this is where the shape is. Okay. If these, the most important dimensioning rule is the shape dimensioning. This one's kind of obvious where we put it, but later on, as you start doing more things, you want to put it where you see it as the shape. So this has basic shape of this object. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and get started with the dimensioning. Now this one here, I can just click this one and it'll put, and I'll kind of zoom in on here. And we'll put the dimension there. Now notice how it's already starting with the dimension lines on the outside. Okay, so, and we can move this over like this. You see that? So that's how we'd want to do it, because it's basically telling the program, or the program's telling us that, oh, we can't fit those in there. So if you want to, you can then, well, not I want you to, then you put it out here. And again, don't put it way down here, just kind of a little bit distance out, then put that one in. Now I'm not going to go back and forth between these because I know kind of what dimensions I need. Okay, it might end up being a little bit different, but it'll be the same thing. So I'm just going to continue down along this. Okay, so now on this one, I'm not going to just dimension this, because if I do this, see how it doesn't leave the gap. Okay, so I'm going to skip that, and I'm going to click these two lines here. Okay, and it'll give me that gap. All right, now once I get close to this one, see how it gives me that purple line? That means it's going to line it up with it. You don't have to sit here and get it really close. It's going to, once it puts that in there, it's going to put it in there, and it'll put it right even with that one. So we just need to make sure this is in the middle, and click. See how it jumps to it? See how we have the gaps. Okay. Now, a couple ways you could do this. I could go ahead and dimension this one right here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the overall dimension, because you usually want to put overall dimensions. Okay. And then just, try to center this. It kind of locks in, and, not too far out from there. Okay. So basically we can get these two here, or we can get this one by adding these and subtracting that. So we don't necessarily need that one. We could put that one in too, but that would be okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this dimension right here. So this one, I can just go ahead and click that line. Now this one, you don't, try not to have dimensions on the object, but sometimes you don't have a choice. Okay. Now we could keep this one like this, and I think that's what we're going to do. We'll put that 0.5 in there, but then we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to then take this, and sometimes you got to press escape. Okay. And then get out of this, and then come here, and you get that little diamond. Click it, and then put those dimensions on the inside. See how it looks. Doesn't look real good, then maybe pull this dimension out here like this. Okay. Try not to pull it into here on the object, because you try not to dimension things on the object. Okay. So there's that one. All right. Now I'm going to work on this side. And again, you can come back to here and look at these dimensions and stuff, because you'll notice there's 0.751, 0.75. This is one going in. So I'm going to go ahead and dimension that. I already kind of know what those are. So I'm going to just click this line and put that 0.75, about right there. Try to keep them about the same distance away as these were. And then, but this one here, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to do these two lines here. So that way we have the gap. Get it close, put it in. So you always want that gap. So that way it's a distinction between the object and the dimension, because you don't want them to blend together. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing I did down here. I could do this dimension here, but I'm going to do the overall height, because that's usually what you want to do. And we'll put that one in there, lock that in about right there. Looks good. And then we're going to need this dimension, and this one we can just put, right here like this. Fits. It's not as small as that one. Okay. And then the other dimension that we're going to need, if we look at this, is I think it's this one or this one. I forget which one I did. And it looks like it's this one because we're going to do this angle dimension. All right. So I'm just going to close out of that. I don't need that anymore. So I need this dimension right here. All right, the 1.5. So just bring it out a little ways, center it, put it on there. Now to do the angle dimension, what you do is you click on the angle first, and then the line that, any one of these lines really, usually it's the one, well, let me go back to this. I'll show you. It probably should have stayed in there. That's all right. Notice how it says from this line here, see this extension line? So I would click this angle line. That's always the one you click first. The second one is wherever this is saying, if it's going from here to there, it's the angle, then you click this one. So come back to here, and then I click this line here, and it's giving me that 45 degrees. Okay, so you might have to fiddle with this, to get those dimensions on the inside. Okay, or you can pull it out here a little ways, or get the dimension lines, the arrows and stuff on the inside, and then you can put that in there. Okay, now this doesn't have, I mean, you got that diamond, you could flip those out too. So let's actually undo this. I'll just delete this and we'll dimension this again. So angle line first, and then the angle that it's going from. Say you put it in there like that, you try to get it centered. The dimensions are still on the outside. You can click them, and that's what it does. So it's a little bit different. Okay, it does something goofy. So I always try to get it so the dimension has the arrows. Whoops, do that again. There we go. So you might have to bring it out a little ways to get dimension on the inside, the arrows. Okay. And then basically that's it. Just make sure you have all the dimensions. Now the other thing we could do, and I didn't do on the first one, we do this depth. So go ahead and measure that depth. Okay. On how deep that goes. And then just double check, make sure you have all the dimensions, make sure it looks good. All right. And then what you're going to do is then you're going to, on your own, do practice 3.5. I think that's what I have it as. Let me just see here. Just a second. Yep, you're going to do 3.5 then on your own. Okay. So good luck with that one.